Spider-Man soars through the concrete canyons, a streak of red and blue against the azure sky. The wind screams past his mask as he navigates the dizzying heights. With practiced ease, he launches a web, swinging towards his next perch, a determined set to his jaw. His eyes scan the cityscape below, searching for any sign. A low growl emanates as Spider-Man mutters under his breath. "I must stop Electro," Spider-Man vows, his words swallowed by the wind. Sunlight floods Mary Jane's tidy apartment as she pores over a biology textbook, her brow furrowed in concentration. The sudden ring of her phone cuts through the quiet focus, startling her from the depths of her studies. Her eyes dart to the caller ID, a flicker of recognition and perhaps a hint of anticipation crossing her face. A soft, almost inaudible whisper escapes her lips as she recognizes the name. It's Peter. The sunlight catches the dust motes dancing in the air, highlighting the quiet before the call. Peter stands in Mary Jane's apartment, his figure tense, a storm brewing behind his eyes. The weight of recent events is etched deeply into Peter's grim expression. He clenches his fists, the knuckles white against the dim light of the room. A heavy silence fills the apartment as he prepares to speak of tragedy. His voice, strained and low, breaks the silence. The vice mayor is dead. Peter's dark eyes reflect the shocking truth. Electro killed him. In her apartment, Mary Jane begins her transformation. The sleek black cat suit promising power. The suit hugs her curves, a second skin empowering her. With practiced ease, she pulls the suit higher, concealing her identity. Her fingers dance as she secures the mask, hiding her features. The mask clicks into place, completing the transformation into Black Cat. Mary Jane is gone. Black Cat now stands ready, a new persona. In the vibrant city square, Black Cat lands gracefully, her suit shimmering under the day's radiant sun. The crowd bustles around her, a sea of faces and hurried footsteps in the urban heart. Spider-Man swings swiftly into view, a streak of red and blue against the clear sky. He lands a few feet from Black Cat, his posture alert, ready for any threat. A tense stillness settles between them, a silent question hanging in the air. The city watches, unaware of the drama unfolding between these two figures. In the bustling city square, Spider-Man tenses, his senses on high alert as danger approaches. Beside him, Black Cat's eyes narrow, her lithe form coiled and ready for action. A jolt of raw electricity crackles in the air, heralding Electro's chaotic arrival. Electro strides into the fast food store, his presence a storm cloud amidst the mundane. Spider-Man and Black Cat exchange a look, silent understanding passing between them before the storm breaks. Chaos erupts as Electro bursts into the fast food store, electricity crackling around him. Patrons scream and scatter as sparks fly, illuminating Electro's enraged face. Tables and chairs are thrown aside as Electro's uncontrolled power surges through the room. The air fills with the smell of ozone and burning plastic as the store descends into pandemonium. Electro's eyes glow with intense energy, reflecting the destructive force he wields. A wave of electricity courses through the building, plunging the fast food store into darkness. In the bustling city square, shadows lengthen as Black Cat prepares her ambush, a glint of steel in her hand. Her lithe form tenses, ready to strike at Electro, the air crackling with anticipation of the impending clash. Unseen, Electro hovers, oblivious to the danger lurking beneath the city's vibrant facade. Black Cat's eyes narrow, focusing on her target, the knife, a silent promise of swift action. The city square, a stage set for a deadly confrontation between shadow and lightning. In the heart of the city square, Spider-Man descends, landing with poised grace before Black Cat. He stands firm, web shooters primed, a determined edge in his voice. "Black Cat, stop. This ends now." Black Cat's playful defiance dances in her eyes. "Oh, Spidey, always the hero. What's a girl to do for a little fun?" Spider-Man's gaze hardens, his stance unyielding. "Fun? These people are scared." He confronts her with unwavering resolve. "Crime never pays, Felicia. You know that." The tension hangs heavy between them, the city square a silent stage for their conflict. The bustling bank hall awaits, its polished floors reflecting the nervous energy of the crowd. Electro strides into the bank, a figure of stark intensity against the mundane backdrop. His entrance sends a ripple of unease through the air, a silent alarm spreading among the patrons. All eyes turn to Electro, sensing the disruption he brings to the ordinary day. Electro's body crackles with raw blue energy, a storm brewing within him. Arcs of electricity surge from his fingertips, seeking their targets with deadly precision. The bank's computer screens flicker violently, digital chaos unleashed. Darkness engulfs the room as the system crashes, plunging the bank into silent disarray. Pandemonium ignites within the bank as computers burst, a domino effect of destruction, unleashing sparks and flames. The inferno devours workstations, transforming the mundane office into a hellscape of searing heat and choking smoke. Terrified bank workers scatter, their screams lost in the roar of the blaze, a desperate scramble for survival. Injured and panicked, they flee the scene, leaving behind a trail of chaos and destruction in their wake. The bank manager sprints toward his office, a whirlwind of panic and urgency driving his every step. He bursts through the door, his eyes widening as the full extent of the unfolding chaos hits him. Papers fly, alarms blare, and the air crackles with a frenzied energy that leaves him momentarily stunned. His face contorts with a mix of disbelief and dawning horror as he takes in the pandemonium. The scene unfolds before him, a stark tableau of disorder that shatters the illusion of calm and control. Electro advances through the sterile bank hallway, his intense gaze locked onto the bank manager's distant office door. Each step echoes with a silent threat, amplifying the tension in the enclosed space. His unwavering focus suggests a storm brewing beneath a veneer of calm. The fluorescent lights hum, casting long shadows that dance with his determined stride. He moves with purpose, a man on a mission, oblivious to the mundane world around him. The bank manager's door looms larger, the impending confrontation palpable in the air. In a blaze of action, Spider-Man crashes into the bank hallway, ready for action. Right behind him, Black Cat follows. The hallway echoes with the sounds of their dramatic entrance. Their mission, to save the manager from imminent danger. Spider-Man surveys the scene. Black Cat moves quickly. Electro's malicious grin radiates raw power, his eyes crackling with unrestrained energy. Mr. Henderson, a bank manager in his late 50 seconds, stands paralyzed by fear. A crude bomb is strapped to Henderson's back, a ticking timer counting down. Wires snake around his torso, a deadly countdown to chaos. In the bank hallway, Spider-Man fights against time, his brow furrowed in a desperate struggle. His nimble fingers dance over the wires, a race against the clock, where every second pulses with dread. Each attempt to disarm the bomb proves futile, the device ticking with relentless menace. Sweat beads on his forehead as he confronts the grim reality, his mask hiding a grimace. The ominous ticking intensifies, echoing the impending doom in the sterile, echoing hallway. Electro's intense gaze sweeps across the bank hallway, a silent quest for lurking threats. He inhales deeply, steeling his resolve against the unseen enemy. A moment of tense quiet hangs in the air, the fate of many resting on his shoulders. With newfound clarity, he speaks, his voice firm amidst the potential chaos. The word that deactivates the bomb, is serenity. In the bank hallway, Spider-Man stands, sweat tracing paths down his mask. The exposed wires of the bomb look like a metallic spiderweb. The timer ticks ominously, each second echoing in the tense silence. A desperate, breathless prayer escapes his lips. Hallelujah. The dormant bomb springs to life, its digital display flashing erratically, a harbinger of destruction. A blinding flash engulfs the bank hallway as the bomb detonates with terrifying force. The bank manager is caught in the blast, his form instantly vaporized, a casualty of chaos. The hallway collapses, pulverized concrete and twisted metal filling the void, a testament to the bomb's power. Amidst rain-streaked skyscrapers, Spider-Man perches atop the bank, a solitary sentinel surveying the urban expanse. His gaze sharpens, spotting a crumpled note fluttering ominously near the bank's shattered window. With swift grace, he snatches the note, the paper crackling softly in his gloved grip. His expression hardens as he recognizes the familiar scrawl, the air thick with unspoken dread. A chilling voice echoes in his mind. "We're not finished yet," a haunting reminder of battles yet to come. Under the cloak of night, amidst the city's glow, Mary Jane and Peter, weary warriors, begin to shed their masks. The cool night air caresses their faces as they peel away the symbols of their double lives. A shared glance passes between them, a silent understanding of the burdens they carry. The city's neon lights reflect in their tired eyes, mirroring the endless battles fought in its name. With masks removed, they are simply Mary Jane and Peter, seeking solace in each other's presence. The night enfolds them, offering a brief respite from the extraordinary demands of their heroic duties. Amidst the cacophony of city streets, Mary Jane and Peter stand firm, a united front against the impending storm. The distant wail of sirens underscores their resolve. Mary Jane's voice cuts through the noise. "We have to stop Electro." Peter meets her gaze, his eyes reflecting a steely determination. "Tomorrow we will," he vows, his voice resonating with unwavering certainty. The city lights blur around them, a silent promise hanging in the electric air. In the quiet of his room, Peter succumbs to sleep, his eyelids heavy with exhaustion. His body relaxes, tension leaving his muscles, as he drifts deeper into the night. His breathing slows, each inhale and exhale a gentle rhythm in the stillness. The soft rise and fall of his chest is the only movement in the tranquil scene. Lost in dreams, Peter's face is serene, bathed in the soft glow of the night. In the quiet of night, Mary Jane lies in her bed, the soft glow of moonlight painting the room in gentle hues. She slowly closes her eyes, a sense of peace washing over her weary features. Her chest rises and falls with each breath, a soothing rhythm that fills the silent room. The world outside fades away as she drifts into a deep, dreamless sleep. In the tranquil darkness, Mary Jane finds solace and rest, her worries temporarily forgotten. In the dark alley, shadows dance ominously, cast by a dim light that barely pierces the grimy air. Richard Fisk, in a sharp suit, stands out starkly against the alley's grim backdrop. A motley crew of thugs surrounds Fisk, their faces a canvas of anticipation and apprehension. Each member of the crew seems to vibrate with nervous energy, their eyes darting in the shadows. The bespoke suit of Fisk hints at power, a stark contrast to the rough appearances around him. The alley's narrow confines amplify the tension as Fisk and his crew brace for the night's events. In the inky blackness of the alley, a figure lurks, his presence a chilling omen. The Lizard, Richard's monstrous henchman, stands sentinel, a grotesque guardian in the shadows, his reptilian eyes cut through the gloom, burning with cold calculation. Every twitch, every breath exudes menace, a promise of violence barely contained. He is the embodiment of Richard's dark ambition, a creature forged in cruelty. The alleyway becomes his hunting ground, where fear reigns supreme. Dark shadows stretch across the cramped alley, overflowing trash, casting long, ominous shapes. Richard's face contorts with barely contained fury, his anger echoing in the narrow space. His voice rises, cutting through the night. Spider-Man and Electro threaten my empire. The alley seems to hold its breath, anticipating the storm of vengeance brewing within Richard. In a dark alley, Richard, a man weathered by the streets, moves with grim purpose under the flickering neon. Long shadows dance as he posts a digital bounty poster, the act sinister in its intent. The flickering light reveals the harsh lines of his face, each etched with years of survival and determination. His words echo in the alley's silence. Spider-Man and Electro, dead or alive. Substantial reward. The poster glares from the wall, a stark declaration of intent. No questions asked. Strobe lights pulse wildly, painting the nightclub in fleeting moments of harsh light and deep shadow. The dance floor is a sea of bodies, each a silhouette consumed by rhythm and light. Kingpin's gaze cuts through the chaos, his eyes like chips of obsidian in the electric haze. Across the room, Mary Jane's laughter rises above the music, bright and carefree. She stands near a hulking thug, their figures momentarily frozen in the strobe's merciless glare. Kingpin's jaw tightens, a silent storm gathering behind his impassive mask. In the pulsating heart of a crowded nightclub, bodies sway to the rhythm as Richard Fisk navigates through the throng. His eyes scan the room, a determined glint in them as he searches for a specific face amidst the swirling lights and shadows. Richard's gaze locks onto Mary Jane, her silhouette framed against the vibrant chaos, a beacon in the night. Purposefully, he begins to approach her, each step measured, drawing closer to the enigmatic figure that has captured his attention. The nightclub throbs with music, bodies swaying in a kaleidoscope of strobe lights. Richard navigates through the crowd, his face serious in the chaotic dance. He leans in close to Mary Jane, the question hanging heavy in the air. Has she gained Spider-Man's trust? Richard asks, his eyes searching for answers. The nightclub pulses with bass, lights flashing across faces in the crowd. Mary Jane leans towards Richard, her face etched with concern amidst the noise. I have Spider-Man's trust, she confesses, her voice barely audible above the music. Her eyes plead with him, a desperate undercurrent in her words. Please, Richard, don't hurt him, she begs, her vulnerability exposed in the dim light. In the crowded nightclub, Richard throws his head back, his laughter echoing through the pulsating music. The lights flash across Richard's face as his laughter intensifies, commanding attention. Richard makes a sharp gesture, his hand cutting through the air, signaling his goons. His eyes glint with sinister intent as he points towards Mary Jane across the crowded floor. The goons, lurking in the shadows, exchange glances, understanding Richard's silent command. A sense of impending danger fills the air as the music fades slightly, replaced by Richard's echoing laugh. Dim lights pulse across the crowded nightclub, casting long shadows as brutal hands strike Mary Jane. Pain flashes across her face, a mask of fear and desperation clouding her usually bright eyes. She nods weakly, her voice barely a whisper, as she makes a dark deal with fate. I'll do it. I'll lure Spider-Man into your trap, she says, sealing her grim promise. Pulsating music and chaotic laser lights cut through the smoky haze of the nightclub, a frenetic energy gripping the crowd. Richard raises a hand, a silent command, slicing through the noise as his thugs abruptly halt. His eyes, sharp and unforgiving, lock onto Mary Jane across the crowded dance floor. Mary Jane freezes, caught in the crosshairs of Richard's intense, unwavering stare. Richard's chilling words echo in the smoky air. This is your final warning, Mary Jane. Disappoint me, and you will face consequences you cannot imagine, he threatens, his voice laced with menace. The nightclub pulsates with bass, a sea of faces illuminated by strobing neon. Richard raises his champagne glass, a predatory gleam in his eyes. The champagne bubbles reflect the chaotic light, a symbol of fleeting luxury amidst the throbbing crowd. His voice cuts through the music, a declaration of intent. A new era is coming. The crowd is oblivious, lost in the rhythm, unaware of the seismic shift Richard promises with his raised glass. Amidst the vibrant chaos of the college hallway, Spider-Man moves, an ordinary face in the crowd. His steps falter, a sudden ripple of surprise breaking through his composed facade. Time seems to slow as his eyes lock onto a familiar figure. A soft whisper escapes his lips, laced with disbelief and longing. Mary Jane? The bustling hallway fades into a blur as he stares, hope and vulnerability etched across his face. Sunlight floods the classroom, illuminating rows of eager students. Peter, mid-lecture, pauses, a playful glint in his eye as he delivers a joke. A ripple of laughter spreads through the room, breaking the focused atmosphere. Mary Jane throws her head back, her laughter echoing, radiant and unrestrained. Her vibrant red hair catches the sunlight, a fiery halo around her joyful face. The classroom is filled with warmth, laughter, and youthful exuberance. In the bustling college hallway, students surge like a tide, lockers echoing like distant thunder. Amidst the vibrant chaos, Mary Jane approaches Peter, her serious expression cutting through the noise. Her eyes lock with his, a silent prelude to the words about to break the surface. Peter, I have something important to tell you, she says, her voice barely a whisper in the crowded hall. Under humming fluorescent lights, a river of students flows through the linoleum-lined hallway. Peter pivots mid-stride, his expression earnest against the bustling backdrop. His eyes lock onto Mary Jane, a silent plea hanging in the air between them. A mix of anxiety and determination hardens Peter's gaze. Mary Jane, I need to tell you something, he says, his voice barely audible above the crowd. In the crowded hallway, Mary Jane shifts, her eyes darting nervously as she seeks Peter amidst the throng. Biting her lip, she gathers courage, her voice a soft tremor in the bustling environment. Hey, Peter, I was wondering, she begins, her words laced with hesitant anticipation. Maybe you'd want to, I don't know, meet up later? At the Narrowhead Bar? Midnight? She asks, a hopeful question hanging in the air. In her apartment, Mary Jane breaks down, her body convulsing with uncontrollable sobs, overwhelmed by crushing guilt. Her face is buried in her trembling hands, each tear a testament to the weight of her remorse. The room feels heavy, the air thick with unspoken accusations and the bitter taste of regret. Each sob echoes, a raw and painful lament that fills the otherwise silent space. Her shoulders shake as she confronts the consequences of her actions, alone in her sorrow. The apartment, once a sanctuary, now amplifies her isolation and the magnitude of her despair. Inside Mary Jane's cozy apartment, sunlight streams through the window, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Mary Jane's phone buzzes softly on the coffee table, the screen lighting up with a new message from Richard. Her fingers hover over the phone, a mix of anticipation and apprehension swirling within her. The message notification hints at the mysterious Spider-Man, casting a shadow of intrigue over her day. A subtle shift in Mary Jane's expression reveals her complex feelings about the masked hero. The apartment remains still, pregnant with unspoken thoughts and the silent hum of the city outside. Soft lamplight bathes Mary Jane's apartment, casting a warm glow as she speaks on the phone, a reassuring smile gracing her lips. Near the window, Mary Jane nods, her voice a soothing balm. "Everything is going as planned, Richard. Don't worry." Richard sits on the sofa's edge, his posture tense, his gaze fixed on Mary Jane with undisguised anxiety. The room is filled with unspoken tension as Richard watches, his apprehension a stark contrast to Mary Jane's calm demeanor. Mary Jane, bathed in soft light, pulls the sleek black catsuit tight, the leather gleaming like a second skin. The zipper whispers as it climbs, sealing her transformation. A determined glint sparks in her eyes, reflecting the suit's dark allure. She stands poised, a shadow warrior ready to embrace the night. Peter's room, lit by a desk lamp, is a chaos of strewn clothes, evidence of a desperate search. He stands before the open closet, his brow furrowed in thought, caught between a plaid and a blue shirt. A moment of hesitation hangs in the air, the weight of the decision heavy on his young shoulders. The choice between the shirts seems to signify more than just attire, a pivotal moment. Sunlight paints Peter's room in a golden hue, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Peter is hunched over a desk, lost in a sea of textbooks and scattered notes, brow furrowed. The shrill ring of his phone shatters the afternoon quiet, a jarring intrusion. He glances towards the ringing phone, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. Peter answers the phone, a hint of curiosity in his eyes as he listens intently. Mary Jane's voice fills the room. "I'm calling to ask for a camera as a gift." Peter enters the Narrowhead bar, its passage shrouded in shadow. Menacing figures emerge from the dimness, closing in around Peter. Grim faces encircle him, each glare a silent threat in the smoky air. The air thickens with unspoken menace as the thugs tighten their circle. Dim light struggles to penetrate the smoky haze of the Narrowhead bar. A brutal assault unfolds as several thugs unleash a flurry of fists upon Peter. Each blow lands with a sickening thud, echoing through the dimly lit space. Peter reels, caught in a storm of violence within the confines of the Narrowhead bar. Richard and Mary Jane enter, their hands tightly intertwined. Close up on their joined hands, a symbol of their entwined fate. Mary Jane's sly confidence shines through, replacing her earlier nervousness. The truth dawns. She was an accomplice all along, her performance flawless. Her betrayal hangs heavy in the air. In the dim, flickering light of the Narrowhead bar, Richard gestures, his expression intense and shadowed. He leans in conspiratorially, his voice dropping, a storyteller weaving a web of intrigue. The air thickens with unspoken motives as he reveals his agenda. His words hang heavy, a revelation of intent within the smoky haze of the bar. Richard reveals the camera's purpose: to unmask Spider-Man, revealing his true nature to the world. Peter is brutally pinned against the bar, a grotesque mask of blood and bruises obscuring his features. A short distance away, Mary Jane films the savage scene, her face a canvas of tears and horror. The phone trembles in her grip, capturing every sickening blow as her world crumbles. Each tear is a silent scream, each recording a desperate attempt to hold on to something slipping away. The Narrowhead bar reeks of stale beer and desperation as a brutal brawl unfolds under the dim, flickering lights. Peter is caught in a whirlwind of fists, his face contorted in pain as the thugs relentlessly attack. Mary Jane bursts through the chaotic scene, her eyes blazing with fury and a fierce protectiveness. Her voice slices through the din of the fight, a desperate plea amidst the violence. "Stop it! Leave him alone!" She shoves through the crowd, a determined warrior fighting her way to the heart of the brutal fray. The smoky air seems to thicken with each blow, the tension ratcheting up as Mary Jane risks everything. Inside the bustling bar, Richard stands tall, fury blazing in his eyes, his face contorted in anger. He gestures wildly towards Spider-Man. The air crackles with tension as the confrontation looms. Richard's voice booms through the bar, demanding a confession. "Confess, Spider-Man. Tell the world you're a fraud," he shouts, his voice dripping with malice. "And I want it on camera," Richard finishes, his eyes fixated on Spider-Man. In the dim, narrow-head bar, Peter sits with a somber expression, the weight of the world etched on his face. He stares into his drink, lost in thought as condensation clings to the glass. His eyes meet Mary Jane's, a silent plea for understanding passing between them. With a voice heavy with sorrow, Peter confesses, "My heart died on this day." Inside the dimly lit Narrowhead bar, Richard's sharp gesture sets a menacing scene in motion. Two hulking thugs seize Peter, their grips tightening like inescapable iron bands. Peter is dragged inexorably towards a heavy, unmarked door, foreboding in its silence. The door creaks open with a groan, unveiling a steep, dark staircase that descends into shadow. The heavy door looms, promising an unknown and perilous descent. The scene hints at a point of no return as Peter is forced into the darkness below. Spider-Man is hurled into the dimly lit basement, the rough floor jarring his already battered body. The thugs advance, shadows stretching ominously as they close in on their downed prey. Fists fly in the dim light, each strike a brutal punctuation in the tense silence. The sickening thuds of impacts echo in the confined space, a grim symphony of violence. Spider-Man struggles, his movements growing sluggish under the relentless assault. Darkness threatens to engulf him as the thugs continue their merciless beating. A sharp electric shock rips through the silence of the dimly lit basement, the air crackling with residual energy. The damp concrete floor reflects the eerie light, highlighting the grim reality of the scene. Thugs are sprawled motionless, their bodies twisted into grotesque, unnatural poses. Each fallen figure tells a silent story of sudden, violent incapacitation. The air hangs heavy with the smell of ozone and fear, a testament to the raw power unleashed. The basement becomes a stage for the aftermath, the silence amplifying the gravity of the moment. In the dim, cavernous basement, shadows dance, concealing secrets in every corner. A figure emerges from the darkness, his features slowly resolving in the weak light. The transformation is complete. Electro stands revealed, his true identity unveiled. The man once known as Electro is now exposed as Maxwell Williamson. The revelation hangs heavy in the air, a pivotal moment of truth echoing in the silence. The basement is dark, shadows dancing in every corner. A recollection flickers to life. Maxwell, a name echoing from the past. Maxwell, once a science teacher, now a memory resurfacing. A faint smile, a nostalgic gaze into the depths of remembrance. In the dim basement, Maxwell paces with a triumphant smirk, his shadow stretching ominously across the damp walls. Peter sits hunched, his form weighed down by the crushing weight of recent events, a stark contrast to Maxwell's energy. Maxwell halts, turning to Peter with eyes gleaming with dark ambition, a predator locking onto its prey. "Imagine, Peter," Maxwell begins, his voice dripping with sinister delight, painting a vivid picture of infamy. "You'll be the world's most hated villain," Maxwell finishes, the weight of those words hanging heavy in the confined space. Peter remains motionless, the horrifying prospect echoing in the silence, his face a mask of despair. In the gloomy basement, dust motes swirl in a beam of light. Peter faces Maxwell, his expression grave. Peter's earnest gaze pierces the shadows. "Great power comes with great responsibility," Peter declares. Maxwell listens intently, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. The weight of Peter's words hangs heavy in the air. Maxwell stands defiantly in his basement, a chaotic symphony of bubbling beakers and sparking wires surrounding him. Complex machinery hums a discordant tune around him, a testament to experiments gone awry. He gestures dismissively at the scene, a whirlwind of failed scientific ambition. His face hardens, a glint of defiance in his eyes as he justifies his actions. "It's not my fault. Science demanded it," Maxwell declares, his voice echoing in the cluttered space. Dim light barely cuts through the smoky haze of the Narrowhead bar, where secrets and shadows dance together. Black Cat's piercing green eyes narrow, locking onto Richard with an intensity that could cut glass. A challenging look hardens her features, a silent dare hanging in the smoky air. "Why do you hate Spider-Man so much, Richard?" she asks, her voice a low, dangerous purr. Inside the dimly lit bar, Black Cat's sleek suit shines as she sits across from Spider-Man, a mischievous glint in her eyes. She leans forward, a playful smile dancing on her lips, as she prepares to reveal her true feelings. Her voice drops to a sultry purr, captivating and teasing as she confesses, "I have romantic feelings for Spider-Man." The air thickens with unspoken tension as Spider-Man absorbs her words, his expression a mix of surprise and intrigue. In the dim, neon-lit Narrowhead bar, Richard explodes across the bar, a glint of fury in his eyes. His fist slams the worn counter, sending glasses flying and beer splashing in a chaotic spray. The metallic flash of a hidden knife blade catches the light, a silent promise of violence. Richard's gaze burns into Black Cat, a storm of rage threatening to consume him. Black Cat remains unfazed, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to Richard's explosive anger. The lively din of the Narrowhead bar is shattered by Black Cat's piercing scream. Spider-Man, perched high on a rafter, tenses, every sense on high alert. He leaps into action, a blur of red and blue against the smoky, dim light. Web shooters activate, the familiar hiss cutting through the panicked shouts. He swings down, a swift, silent predator, descending into chaos. The bar patrons scatter as Spider-Man lands, ready to confront the threat. In the dim Narrowhead bar, Spider-Man moves with lightning speed, the air thick with anticipation and the smell of stale beer. The metal of the handcuffs flashes as he secures Electro, a spark of finality in the tense atmosphere. Electro's eyes blaze with suppressed fury, reflecting the bar's neon signs in their electric depths. A swift, decisive motion as Spider-Man pivots, his silhouette a stark contrast against the smoky haze. The remaining thugs tense, a ripple of fear spreading through their ranks as they face their unlikely foe. Spider-Man becomes a blur of red and blue, a whirlwind of justice descending upon the unsuspecting bar. Inside the Narrowhead bar, Spider-Man's fist flies with furious speed. The punch lands squarely on Richard's jaw, a brutal impact. Richard crumples to the dirty floor, his body falling limp. Unconscious, he lies defeated amidst the broken glass and spilled drinks. In the dimly lit Narrowhead bar, Mary Jane's hand trembles as she reaches for a knife resting on the counter. Her knuckles whiten around the handle, a silent scream building within her as she grips the cold steel. A storm of emotions flicker across her face, shadowed by the bar's dim light, as she prepares. A single, sharp thought pierces the silence to stab Richard. Dim light paints the Narrowhead bar in shadows as Mary Jane stands between Spider-Man and Richard, a palpable tension filling the air. Her gaze is fixed on Richard, a plea in her eyes as she says, "Richard, this isn't the answer." Turning to Spider-Man, her voice firm, she declares, "And Spider-Man, crime isn't the solution." The weight of her words hangs heavy, challenging both men to reconsider their paths. A silent battle rages as Spider-Man and Richard grapple with Mary Jane's impassioned plea. Piercing sirens cut through the smoky air as police officers storm into the dimly lit Narrowhead bar. With practiced efficiency, the officers' eyes scan the room, their movements precise and purposeful. The officers converge on Richard, their figures silhouetted against the bar's dim light. Richard offers no resistance as the officers move in, his expression unreadable in the shadows. Handcuffs click shut around Richard's wrists, the sound echoing in the sudden hush of the bar. A grenade arcs through the smoky air of the Narrowhead bar, a harbinger of sudden, violent chaos. With a sickening thud, it lands, the fuse hissing its deadly countdown in the tense silence. A blinding flash consumes everything, followed by a deafening explosion that rips through the crowded space. Smoke and debris fill the air as the Narrowhead bar is instantly transformed into a scene of destruction. The Narrowhead bar erupts in chaos, bodies falling as the intense battle peaks. Amidst the wreckage, Richard lies still, a stark testament to the brutal conflict. Spider-Man clutches his bleeding side, his mask strained with pain, yet his spirit unyielding. Black Cat snarls, wounded but defiant, her predatory grace ready to unleash more fury. Electro, crackling, surveys the bar, a scene of devastation and defeat surrounding him. Amidst the wreckage, Black Cat struggles to stand, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and defiance. Electro grabs Black Cat, his touch sparking dangerously as he roughly pulls her close. Black Cat cries out, fear and desperation etched on her face as she's captured. Under the electric sky of the arcade, Electro positions Mary Jane, his silhouette stark against the neon. He secures an electric bomb to her, the deadly device humming softly against the vibrant chaos. Flashing lights paint his face in shifting colors, yet his eyes remain cold and devoid of emotion. The arcade's joyous sounds are a stark contrast to the silent threat Electro embodies. Mary Jane is trapped, a pawn in a deadly game played out under the arcade's deceptive glow. The arcade blazes with light and a chorus of digital noise as Electro gestures wildly, energy crackling around him. His form flickers, a dangerous storm contained within a human shape. The air buzzes with anticipation, a silent countdown begun. His eyes burn with manic intensity, locking onto an unseen target. When the video game reaches 100%, Mary Jane will die, he declares, his voice a distorted echo in the arcade din. Each flashing light, each blaring sound, ticks away at Mary Jane's life. Spider-Man's eyes flutter open, adjusting to the harsh, sterile light of the hospital room. He lies in the stark white hospital bed, IV lines snaking into his arm, a stark reminder of the battle. His vision clears, and the blurry world sharpens into focus. Ben sits vigilantly by his side, his face a canvas of worry, slowly transforming into profound relief. The weight of concern, etched deeply into the lines around Ben's eyes, speaks volumes of his love. In the sterile hospital room, Spider-Man stands vigil, his masked face a study in resolve, the soft beeping of machines a constant backdrop. At the foot of Mary Jane's bed, his posture is unyielding, a silent promise etched in every line of his body. The air is thick with unspoken fears, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. His gaze is fixed, unwavering, on Mary Jane, a silent vow passing between them in the quiet space. I must save Mary Jane, he vows, his voice a low, determined rumble that seems to defy the sterile environment. Chaos erupts in the hospital as doctors struggle to contain Ben, their faces gripped by fear and urgency. Ben, fueled by an unseen force, defiantly shoves them back, his eyes blazing with unwavering resolve. "Let me go," Ben commands, his voice echoing through the sterile environment, demanding immediate release. His expression hardens, a profound conviction taking hold as he prepares to face his destiny. "With great power comes great responsibility," Ben declares, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. The doctors recoil, sensing a shift in Ben as he embraces his fate with grim determination. Spider-Man bursts through the hospital window, a streak of red and blue against the sterile facade. Glass shards rain down as he leaps into the open air, a defiant silhouette against the clear sky. He propels himself forward, a web shooting out to secure his trajectory amidst the urban landscape. Buildings shrink below as he swings higher, a stark contrast to the confines he leaves behind. The city unfolds beneath him, a sprawling tapestry of life, as Spider-Man embraces his freedom. A determined figure soaring against the horizon, a symbol of hope and resilience in motion. High above the city, Spider-Man soars between skyscrapers, a blur of red and blue against the vast open sky. Webs shoot out, anchoring him to the towering buildings as he navigates the urban jungle with unmatched grace. Sunlight glints off his mask as he scans the streets below, his senses heightened, ever vigilant. He seeks a familiar landmark, the vibrant flashing lights of the arcade, a beacon in the concrete expanse. Each swing is a calculated move, a dance between hope and urgency as he races against an unknown clock. Under the bright arcade lights, Spider-Man stands poised, muscles tensed, ready to confront the looming threat. Electro's minions advance, their menacing shadows stretching across the vibrant, playful facade of the arcade. A web shooter snaps to life, the first line of defense against the electric onslaught. The air crackles with anticipation as the battle is about to begin. Flashing lights and arcade sounds engulf Mary Jane. Her eyes dart wildly. Her breath hitches, each gasp a testament to rising panic. Amidst the chaos, a desperate wish escapes her lips. "I wish Spider-Man was here," she whispers, hope laced with fear. Her gaze pierces the vibrant chaos, searching for a hero. Spider-Man descends, his silhouette sharp against the vibrant, chaotic backdrop of the arcade. Neon lights flash across his mask, reflecting in his determined gaze. The air buzzes with electronic noise, a symphony of digital chaos surrounding him. He stands poised, a guardian amidst the flashing games and echoing laughter, his voice resolute against the arcade's din. "I will always be there for her." Electro's hands crackle with raw power, bolts of lightning arcing towards Spider-Man in the crowded arcade. Arcade machines flicker and die as the raw electricity surges through the air, threatening to engulf everything. Each bolt of lightning illuminates Spider-Man's desperate evasion, a dance with death in a neon-lit playground. The air crackles with ozone, a palpable tension hanging as Electro unleashes another furious blast. Sparks shower down, casting eerie shadows as Spider-Man fights to survive Electro's relentless electric storm. Arcade lights blaze as a video game screen flickers, promising a digital escape. A loading bar inches forward, each segment a step closer to virtual immersion. Tension mounts as the percentage climbs, the game tantalizingly close to starting. 95% loaded. The screen pulsates with anticipation. The digital world awaits. The arcade hums, a chorus of electronic dreams on the verge of awakening. A symphony of flashing lights and digital echoes fills the arcade, a stark contrast to the raw emotion about to unfold. Amidst the chaos, Mary Jane's voice cracks, a desperate cry piercing through the manufactured joy. Her face contorts in fear, eyes wide as she shouts, "Help!" The vibrant colors of the arcade seem to mock her distress, a cruel irony in the overwhelming spectacle. Each flashing light and blaring sound amplifies her isolation, her plea swallowed by the noise. The game screens reflect in her tear-filled eyes, a distorted mirror of her desperate reality. Spider-Man bursts into the arcade, drawn by the flashing lights and chaotic symphony of electronic sounds. He moves with urgency, a determined focus in his eyes as he navigates the crowded space. Each step echoes his resolve amidst the arcade's vibrant chaos. The air vibrates with a frenetic energy, mirroring the intensity of his mission. The flickering screens cast an eerie glow on his face, highlighting his determination. Bright lights flash in the arcade. Electro's hand crackles with energy. He lunges, a static hiss in the air. Electro grabs Spider-Man's leg. Spider-Man is yanked down. Sparks fly as they collide. Flashing lights illuminate the arcade, a symphony of electronic sounds filling the air. A lone figure stands silhouetted against the vibrant chaos, drawn to a retro game. The retro video game console glows, a beacon of nostalgia in the arcade's frenzy. The loading bar crawls, reaching 99%, a digital anticipation hanging in the air. Each blip and whir of the machine heightens the suspense, a digital siren's call. The lone figure's eyes reflect the screen's glow, lost in the game's final moments. Amidst the flashing chaos of the arcade, Spider-Man moves with swift determination. His focused gaze is set on the cold steel of the handcuffs binding Mary Jane. With practiced ease, Spider-Man's nimble fingers work to unlock the restraints. A metallic click echoes in the crowded arcade as the first cuff springs open. Mary Jane watches with a mix of relief and gratitude. As freedom nears, the second cuff releases, and Mary Jane is free, the threat now past. Electro unleashes a storm of crackling electricity. Arcade machines flicker, threatening Spider-Man and Black Cat with raw power. The arcade plunges into chaos as electric arcs dance wildly, casting long, distorted shadows across the room. In a blinding flash, Electro vanishes, leaving behind only the sharp, lingering scent of ozone. Stunned silence descends, broken only by the hum of damaged machines and the hero's ragged breaths. Spider-Man's masked eyes scan the vibrant arcade, a stark contrast to the grim message hidden on the wall. Amidst the cacophony of flashing lights, he sees it. words scrawled in shadow, a chilling taunt. The message echoes in his mind, a grim whisper amidst the noise. Narration: Electro hasn't finished yet. He stands vigilant, ready to confront the impending storm. Under the cloak of night, Electro menacingly drags Ben toward the towering water dam. The colossal dam looms, a concrete giant against the starlit sky, a silent witness to the impending danger. Electro shoves Ben roughly forward, the dam's cold shadow engulfing them both. Ben stumbles, his eyes wide with terror, as he gazes up at the dam's imposing height. The air crackles with electric tension, a prelude to Electro's sinister intentions. The dam stands as an emblem of nature's raw power, now a stage for a deadly confrontation. Cold fluorescent lights hum in an unknown room, casting long, eerie shadows that dance across the walls. Peter's phone flickers to life, revealing a horrifying video call. On the screen, Ben is bound tightly to an electric chair, his body strained against the restraints. Fear etches deep lines into Ben's face as he stares helplessly into the camera. In an unknown place, Electro gestures wildly. His eyes, wide with urgency, reflect the gravity of the situation. "The dam is about to be bombed," Electro shouts. Electro's words hang in the air, a chilling warning. Urgency fills the scene, demanding immediate action. Electro stands in a chaotic nexus of sparking wires and blinking monitors, his face illuminated by an eerie electric glow. A sinister grin spreads across Electro's face, a silent promise of impending chaos. His eyes gleam with manic energy as he prepares to unleash his power. "Good luck, Spider-Man. You're going to need it," Electro says, his voice crackling with electricity. Spider-Man soars through the night, a silhouette against the glittering cityscape, his every move a testament to unmatched agility. He lands gracefully on a rooftop, the cool night air whispering around his iconic suit. The city sprawls beneath him, a symphony of light and shadow stretching to the horizon. With practiced ease, he retrieves his phone, its screen casting an eerie glow on his masked visage. The device hums to life as he prepares to contact Black Cat, a sense of anticipation building. A silent promise hangs in the air as he initiates the call, ready to confront whatever challenges await. Under a cloak of night, Spider-Man and Black Cat venture into the shadowy woods. Trees loom like silent watchers as they move deeper, their destination the imposing dam. Moonlight filters through the canopy, casting an eerie glow on their path. The air is thick with anticipation as they approach their objective. The distant hum of the dam grows louder, a mechanical heartbeat in the still night. Shadows dance around them, concealing unknown threats as they advance. Night's shadows envelop the dam, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. Ben, a lone figure against the colossal structure, is captured. Bound tightly to a chair, his eyes reflect the cold, indifferent moonlight. The concrete beneath him vibrates with the dam's immense power. Silence hangs heavy, broken only by the distant rush of water. Dust swirls around Ben on the dam, each gust a harbinger of imminent peril. His wild gestures cut through the air, urgency etched into every line of his face. He screams over the din, his desperate plea echoing against the concrete. "Run away." A frantic energy emanates from him as he urges them to flee, his eyes wide with fear. Explosions rip through the dam's concrete, a brutal ballet of destruction against the stoic landscape. Water breaches the fractured structure, a dark torrent heralding chaos. A surge of water erupts, an unstoppable wave unleashed upon the world. The flood races forward, an insatiable force carving a path of devastation. In the distance, the city awaits, unaware of the watery doom hurtling towards it. Nature's fury is unleashed, a testament to the destructive power now in motion. On a small hill, Electro surveys the scene. A wide, satisfied smile spreads across Electro's face as he watches the chaos unfold below. The destruction is his symphony, a masterpiece of chaos painted across the horizon. His eyes gleam with wild satisfaction, reflecting the havoc he has unleashed. Amidst the chaos of floodwaters, Spider-Man weaves a web, creating a fragile barrier against the surging tide. Swift as a shadow, Black Cat's grappling hook finds its mark, ensnaring Maxwell in her cunning trap. A collective cheer erupts from the crowd, their faces illuminated with relief as hope flickers in their eyes. Gratitude washes over the city as its heroes stand tall, a beacon of defiance against the encroaching disaster.